Peace, y'all. Welcome back to Community Calls with Dr. G. I'm Dr. G. This is another video in the Coexisting with Grief series. We're going to talk about how transformative grief can be. It's already transformative, but we can choose how. It's a short video. I'm not going to take too long. I'm not going to go through too much. I just want to introduce this concept. Okay? Grief is already life-changing. Grief is life-changing. Losing somebody, losing something that we thought that we would have forever, it's a life-changing experience. And unbeknownst to many of us, we can choose how our life changes. We don't just have to allow it to happen, right? We can be proactive, we can be inactive, we could do all sorts of things, but if we are intentional with our grief, if we are intentional with our healing process, it is possible for us to transform in ways that we want to and not just transform as a result of the loss, right? It's hair. So most of the time we go through losses that are unimaginable and unexpected. And outside of coping, I've done a video about coping mechanisms with grief right here on the same playlist, but outside of coping, we have to take sometimes a very extended period of time to really go through the process of bereavement. And bereavement, defined in another video here on this playlist. You should subscribe to my channel. I produce these videos, and they're helpful. Subscribe, like, comment. But more seriously, this extended period of time, or this time of bereavement, where we give ourselves the opportunity to get accustomed to life without that thing that we lost, right? Our life is going to be different now. We have to readjust, right? So during that time, we're required to kind of recalibrate and also recreate different aspects of our life now, right? And this is like, it's a necessary part of the process, right? And oftentimes when we think about grief, when we think about loss, when we look at that recalibration, when we look at that like recreation aspect of the grief process, we get overwhelmed, we get disheartened, we get sad, because it's like, but I never imagined that my life would be this way at this point in time. So like, I can't imagine what life would be without that. I can't imagine what life would be like without that. What does that even look like? Anything you want it to. Anything you want it to. It's already unimaginable. It's already unexpected. We have no frame of reference for what to do right now in this situation. So yes, it's an overwhelming thing. Yes, it's a shitty thing to go through. But also, if we adopt this perspective that I'm presenting here, that opportunity to recalibrate, that opportunity to recreate our lives is tremendous. It's tremendous because there are infinite possibilities for the way that our life can go now, because the unimaginable has happened. We cannot see the way forward without this thing. But shit is going to keep moving forward without that thing. So now you take this opportunity to feel your feelings. First of all, feel your feelings. Be sad, grieve, go through all of that. But in this grieving process, you have this tremendous opportunity to transform your life in a way that you never imagined, because you never imagined that you would be without this thing. What better time to do what the fuck you want to do than when you're grieving? Ain't nobody gonna check you. Who gonna check you? Who gonna check you? It's your life. It's your loss. You get to do whatever the fuck you want to. I'm not saying go out there and start killing people, hurting people, doing mean shit. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that there's these different aspects of your life now that you get to reimagine, recreate, You get to do some shit you never even thought of before because you never thought that you would be in this position. Turn your pain into courage. Turn your pain into courage. Turn your pain into courage. We are magical in a way. And I'm not saying magical like witches boo ha ha, but I'm saying magical in the sense that we can do some really incredible things. And one of the things that we can do as spiritual human beings is to transmute energy. We can take energy from one thing and turn it into something else. We eat some food, then we can go for a run. We get some sunlight, now our vitamin D is activated and our body is working better. We take energy, we breathe in air and turn that shit into something else and breathe it right back out. Take your pain, shit. Take your pain and turn it into courage. The courage to do something you never thought you would ever do because you've never been in this situation before. It's unimaginable. So do some unimaginable shit. Use the energy of the loss and the sadness to create new avenues towards joy and fulfillment. I feel so fucking sad today. I miss my granny like shit. But you know what me and my granny used to do? We used to go to Red Lobster. So you know what? Instead of sitting here in the sadness, I'm about to go get me some Cheddar Bay biscuits, B. Turn your loss and sadness into new avenues of joy and fulfillment, or old avenues. Return to old avenues of joy and fulfillment. But you can choose. You can choose. And I'm not ever going to say, I don't want you ever to misconstrue what I'm saying, to believe that I'm talking about like avoid sadness, avoid grief. No. What I am saying is that you don't have to sit in that shit. There's a whole video coming on that. You don't have to sit in that shit. Sit with it, but don't just sit in it for forever. Turn your loss into joy. Turn your sadness into some level of fulfillment. Turn your pain into courage to do something new. You can transform your life. Your life. Quick example and I'm done. I had a miscarriage during COVID in 2020, and I had to have surgery to have the whole process completed. I'll say it like that. And I'm a person who would never choose to go through surgery. No. Well, I was a person because I could have chosen not to. But for my life's purpose, I had to go through, in order to save my life, I had to go through this operation. During that operation, my heart stopped or slowed to a point where I was barely alive. I was talking to my spirit guides in another realm, having tea in a white room and making jokes. And then I was being brought back, right? I didn't remember that initially. But over the course of time, as I sat with it, because I had to, I was all by myself during COVID in my house, isolated, yeah. I had to kind of sit with it, but it was the best thing for me, absolutely, because I'm not the same person that I was that day, those days. And my life continues to evolve from there. But the pain that I felt, it was like, shit can't get no worse than this. Like, there's nothing worse than this. So, like, what do I do now? One, I'm not going to do anything that I don't want to do. So I quit my job. Well, you got to do something, Gene. And I took that pain and I turned it into the courage to start my own business. To step out of the box. I had already been pulled so far out the fucking box that I imagined for my life at that point. Fuck it. I'm just about to do me. Because, like, what's worse than this? Nothing. Nothing. So I thought. So I thought. I've been through some other shit since then. But again, that those shitty experiences, that very terrible experience, I used that pain. I felt that pain. I still feel that pain. But I used that pain to literally transform my life. I never imagined that I would live outside the country. But the pain from that loss and the subsequent losses in 2021 just had me on some like, this life shit ain't real, because nothing that I imagine do I see in my reality right now. So like, let's do some different shit. And I hopped up and I left, and I ain't been back since. I cannot tell you, I cannot, I can't express in words how profoundly better I am having gone through this process. I can't. I can't. It's impossible for me to make you feel how profound this transformation has been for me. And as a person who's grounded in pessimism and fatalism and all the bad things, you know, by conditioning, in releasing all of the things that my conditioning told me about myself, about grief, and about all of the world, you know, I was able to tap into my authenticity. And that is one thing that I will say that grief has done for most of the people that I have worked with, is that it will tap you back into who the fuck you really are. Because you need that person to get through. It's very easy. It's very easy when you're in a grieving process to be like, fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. Fuck it. But what are you saying fuck it to? Are you saying fuck it to the things that perpetuate your sorrow? Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck it. Fuck it. Or are you saying fuck it to the things that can propel your joy, that feed your joy? Nah, fuck that. I don't want to go on a vacation. I don't want to go sit by the water. I don't want to put my feet in no grass. Grief will transform you. Grief will transform you. It's life-changing. But you get to choose how. Love y'all.